Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, How SaaS Leader Onit Enables BI Tool Flexibility with Progress DataDirect. Today we are joined by our speakers, Matt Kobzik, Todd Wright, and Aaron Berg. Matt leads a team within Onit's professional services group focused on delivering reporting solutions and supporting data as a service clients. He enjoys partnering with clients to understand their use cases, solve business problems, and drive meaningful outcomes. Todd leads global product marketing for Progress DataDirect Solutions. He works closely with the product management and sales organizations to create and promote materials that are relevant and valuable to Progress customers. Wright is instrumental in developing customer relationships and creating strategic marketing plans that drive awareness, consideration, education, and demand for Progress. Aaron has been a principal solutions engineer with Progress for over 8 years. He has worked in the IT space for over 25 years, working in network administration and data connectivity. His primary focus today is on bridging the gap between data and analytics by using open standards such as ODBC, JDBC, and OData REST. This broad experience has allowed him to be a valuable resource for customers looking to implement Progress DataDirect's connectivity solutions. I'll now pass it over to Todd to start the presentation. Todd?
Rachel, thank you very much. And as mentioned, Matt and Aaron, it's great to have you on the webinar today. But Matt, let's start a little bit with you. A little background on Onit for our audience that might not be aware of your organization. And what is your particular role there at your organization?
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Nice to meet everybody. I'm Matt. I work at Onit. And Onit provides legal management software to a variety of clients. So that's enterprise legal management, contract lifecycle management, and I work within Onit's professional services team. So we have a focus on delivering reporting and analytics solutions to our clients. So clients come, they buy our software, but in addition to that, they want to understand their data, all their legal data, and that's where my team comes in and provides consultative services and support to them.
Okay, great. I know Aaron knows the answer for this, but for our audience, of course, what led you to check out Progress DataDirect? Was there namely like a challenge that was occurring that prompted Onit to look at embedding data connectivity, or was it something in particular around professional services, analytics, workflows?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what for our audience how the engagement started and what led you to DataDirect.
Yeah, it's a good question, Todd. So essentially, where it started in the genesis of our relationship with Progress was, Onit wanted to offer more flexibility to clients as it related to reporting. So often clients will come to us and we have different ways that they can engage with their legal data. So one way is they can consume it through our standard reports, which are out of the box reports that we develop in Tableau. Another way they can engage with their data is through our professional services team. So our team can build bespoke reporting for them on their behalf. And there was another way that, a gap that we saw, a white space opportunity, which was self-service reporting, right? So if they didn't want us to build something and they wanted to do their own reporting, which is becoming kind of more and more of the trend, right? That's where we thought Progress could offer us a great partner to help clients achieve that. And so until we signed up with Progress and started leveraging the HTTP service, that last piece was something that we couldn't offer. And it's really made a big difference in our go-to-market with clients and positioning Onit, in a unique way because clients are demanding more data and analytics. And so Hybrid Data Pipeline through Progress offers us a way to meet that demand.
I had a question for you, Matt, as well. What tools do you see most people looking to use for those types of analytics?
Yeah, mostly the big dogs, right? So Tableau, Power BI, Excel, the tools,
all those types of things. Yeah.
The enterprise level software pieces of software. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
And you mentioned the magic words HTTP and hybrid data pipeline. Aaron, so I'm not putting Matt on the spot about what a Progress DataDirect offering does. Can you explain a little bit about hybrid data pipeline and some of the advantages it has for organizations?
Sure, sure. So hybrid data pipeline is what I like to call our lightweight data gateway. And basically it's a self-hosted solution. So run it on Linux, you can deploy it in Kubernetes, you can run it in Docker. It provides an ability to access the data where it lives, but securely across the internet. So within hybrid data pipeline, you point it to your data source, and then it does the OData enablement in Matt's case, and we can talk about OData a little bit more, which is a REST API, so that his customers can access that data securely using credentials at the hybrid data pipeline. You can support LDAP, OIDC, a few different options there. So it gives you that like proxy or secure access, so you don't have to open up a port directly to your database, which is really not a great idea. Also helps prevent like long-running queries, gives you some throttling capabilities. So wide range of controls in a multi-tenant environment. Now I mentioned OData. OData is I like to call it SQL over REST. It's a standards-based REST API. That's what Onit, I believe, right, Matt, is using to do this. And most of the BI tools support it today. It was about 15 years old. 15 years ago, I think Microsoft came up with this standard. So we've seen a lot of success with the OData enablement, but just to also note, we do support ODBC and JDBC connectors that go directly to HTTP as well. So for tools that might not support OData, or if there's a reason that you want to actually use SQL against them directly.
Okay. Both of you are providing easy segues for me. Aaron, in your reply, you had mentioned security and compliance. And that really leads me to my next question, really for both of you. And that is within hybrid data pipeline from Progress DataDirect, what measures are in place to really ensure a secure and compliant data connectivity, especially within sensitive legal and workflow related data?
I'll let you take that, Matt, first, and you can talk about how you guys are using it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Aaron alluded to it there just a minute ago, but regarding multi-tenancy and that as an offering within hybrid data pipeline, and that's something that we leverage. So we use a multi-tenancy framework to ensure that our clients' data is never compromised or exposed to other clients. We've also helped clients take advantage of all the different integrations and services that are available through hybrid data pipeline. So multi-factor authentication, SSO, IP whitelisting. We also periodically audit our logs, which is a feature that's available through the UI. So there's really a lot that we can do through HTTP, through hybrid data pipeline, to ensure that our clients feel comfortable with their data being secure and in compliance, because that is to what you just mentioned, Todd, that is something in the legal sector that people are incredibly vigilant about how their data is used and managed.
Yep, absolutely.
One thing I can maybe add to that is
Sure.
Kind of in parallel to being secure is also making sure the solution is reliable and has a high uptime. And that is another piece, is we do support that high availability. So you can have multiple hybrid data pipeline servers in a cluster. It's very easy to do now with Kubernetes and Helm charts that we just released support for. So we're definitely pushing for that enterprise level uptime and reliability.
So Matt, it leads me to my next question. What data sources behind the scene are you using Progress DataDirect to OData?
Yeah, we're using Postgres right now.
Postgres. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's nice. And we embed our connectors into hybrid data pipeline. So with Postgres, for instance, we can support like the SSL connectivity if required to the Postgres database, or if you're using other data sources, just for the benefits of the audience, we support a wide range of your relational sources. So SQL Server, Oracle, Postgres, MongoDB. We even connect to, S4 HANA and all kind of DB2, so very wide range of sources that can all be OData enabled. We can even connect to REST sources. So if things change in the future, Matt, you have more, you have a large catalog to work from.
You know who to call, exactly.
Nice.
So Aaron, so I'm not putting Matt on the hot seat this whole entire webinar. Let's talk a little bit about you and your role at DataDirect, namely as in regard to embedding DataDirect within another platform, such as Onit, which obviously comes to mind. What are some of the things that you, within your role, what are some of the things you do to determine if Progress DataDirect is a good fit for an organization? And maybe you could go a little bit regarding the typical engagement process and the length of time it might take for an organization to be up with Progress DataDirect. I know there's two different circumstances: direct connectivity that an organization can buy, and there's also embedding our technology. Maybe go into both and add anything that might be relevant for our audience.
I mean, really, I'm from my engagement as a solutions engineer, just making sure we understand what problem you're trying to solve, and kind of working from our menu to work together to solve that. So in this case with Hybrid Data Pipeline, you can get that up and running in a day or less. It's quite simple to install and get running for testing. Everything comes with a free trial. I think that's when we started a few years ago with Onit. That's how they started, just to do a POC, and we give you support for that process. So it's really easy to get going and kind of test out the solution and make sure it fits your needs. And for a customer like Onit, where they actually are kind of embedding or white labeling this, we do support the ability to brand the product so it looks like it is Onit. I think you'll see that. Matt's probably going to show us a little bit of the product, probably coming up here. And so it makes it very easy to embed it into your environment. So that's kind of an expertise of Progress DataDirect is we work with many companies that embed our solutions, HDP and our ODBC and JDBC drivers as well, into their products. And then we also work with direct end customers who also need these solutions for their own internal business needs.
One thing I noticed was you talked about a lot of different organizations embedding our technology. I noticed that Onit logos are within the interface. And is that something any organization can have branded within?
Yep, that's okay. like I said, yeah, part of that white labeling process. It's very simple to swap those out, and give it the look and feel of your company, and that way people know who to reach out to as well when they need help.
Yep. What if an organization, and this could be probably for Aaron, what if Onit needed to expand their use case to on-premises customer data? Out of luck, or are we still able to are we still able to support them in their needs?
Yeah, no, it's
non-surprisingly.
Good question. So I always talk about Hybrid Data Pipeline a little bit like a Swiss Army knife. It does a lot of different things, so Onit is using it for OData enablement of Postgres. We have other customers that are using the JDBC, ODBC drivers to SQL Server. Those are all for getting access to data that's hosted in Onit's environment for their customers. Now, we do have another component that is part of the suite called our on-premises connector, and it would allow you to reach down into a customer's environment and get access to data there. So for instance, there's cloud analytics companies like that have a SaaS platform, but they need to get access, for their customers to on-prem data, but they don't have a VPN or want to set up a VPN or open up network ports. So this is a very easy way to install this agent locally at the customer location and then get access to any data sources that are there for those cloud analytics needs. So it's kind of the opposite direction of what they're doing on it, but it's all right there in the box. So very easy to change it up, or if their needs ever change.
Yeah, any organization would expand their needs. We can support them on that. That makes sense. Matt, back to you now. I know you talked a little bit about this, but how are things going? Success, struggles, any ROI you can share with our audience? It would be appreciated.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's going great so far. We signed on with Progress about 3 years ago. And in the first quarter of this year, in 2025, we've already seen 7 deals close with our data as a service product, which is essentially the white labeling that we're doing with Progress, right? And that's half the total deals we did in all of 2024. So that data as a service is being offered more to clients, and it's gaining traction, right? So I think it's clear that there's a demand for it, and I think the simplicity of the service, once clients use it, right, there's generally a lot of good feedback about it, right? The flexibility, the REST API is pretty easy and intuitive to interact with. So I would say so far, it's been a successful program, and it seems to only be ramping up at this point.
Well, guys, I know I've asked you a lot of questions today, and Matt, you had shared your desire to show a little bit about what you're doing at Onit, and in particular, the use of Progress DataDirect to help hit your goals. So I think this would be a great time to transition a little bit into a demo, and from the demo, we can go into live audience Q&A. How's it
All right.
sound?
Sounds good, Todd. Yeah.
All right, great.
All right, I will share my screen. So as Aaron mentioned, through Hybrid Data Pipeline, through DataDirect, we have the option to white label the UI. And so that's what we've done here. This is a demo environment that I have up in front of me. Again, we use a multi-tenant system here. So Onit will manage all of our clients in an admin portal, right, where we can kind of shuffle through different tenants. We can reset passwords, do that kind of blocking and tackling type work in the back end. This is an actual demo environment that I've pulled up here. So you can see that within this, and this is kind of showing you what one of our users might engage with when they're actually using what we call data as a service, right? So that's how we've kind of branded it, right? We have our Onit logo, we have our data as a service title up here in the top. And when we actually provision a tenant for a client, we have an automated system where we use a platform called Jenkins, and that creates a couple different user roles within this tenant. So it creates a tenant, creates
Actually,
a few.
that's interesting, Matt. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
stop you there, because
Sure.
you're actually taking advantage of our REST APIs, which so everything in this product can be administered through REST APIs, which makes it really easy to do that Jenkins integration. So
That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, so it's nice. So for someone like me who's more of a business user, right, our dev team has essentially made a way for me to go in when a client's ready to have their tenant provisioned. I just click a button. It creates the users, kind of those default user roles. It also outlines the different role types that we want. So if when we create users and clients create users, right, then they have a kind of a mapping out of what those different role types are. And then, as a kind of out of the box default setting, that job will also run a data source creation. So it'll come in and create a data source. And again, that's built on Postgres. So it's really simple for clients to get up and running and started with this. And I'll just give you an example of the kind of another component of the automation that we do, which is when we create the tenant, we also send out an automated email. So that Jenkins job will send out an email that shows the client, hey, this is the URL you're going to connect with. Here are your admin credentials. And we also include some documentation that we've created. So our teams put together a user guide, an architecture guide, and that helps clients step through how to connect, if they have issues logging into the UI, a bunch of different components of content that are really helpful for clients when they're getting started. It also provides this base URL, and I'll show how clients connect in just a second, but it also outlines, hey, when you're ready to connect to the OData API, this is how you do it. And so we try to make it as seamless as possible for clients when they're getting set up with HDP, so that it's not a burdensome process, right? It's something that's quick and easy, and they can get to the things that they need to right away. So that's a little bit about the process in terms of us setting up a tenant. And then as far as the next step, which is clients connecting to the data, like I said at the top of the call, clients usually connect through a number of different methods. One of those is Excel. And so I've actually pulled up Postman here, which is an app that sometimes we use to test our endpoint, right? And we use basic authentication here. So just a username and a password. But often what we'll do once a client's tenant has been set up is we'll schedule a follow-up call with them and walk them through the documentation that I just showed to you, and also show them how to connect to the OData API. And it's really very simple. So even for somebody like me that's a regular business user, connecting to the URL is really seamless and easy. So I just had the URL there, and if I wanted to connect in Excel, I just plug in the URL and the credentials, and then it loads up all of the tables that exist in the client, their instance of their data warehouse. So then they can just kind of plug and play and get going. Their data's there, and they're ready to start using it.
Well, that looks great, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Matt. That was really appreciated. Guys, if you want to go back on camera, I'll go back on camera as well, as we have a few questions from our audience. And I'm not sure who wants to take each one, but I'll let you guys decide. First one, this one, Aaron, sounds a little towards your realm. Can HTTP also connect to REST endpoints?
Hey, thanks, Todd. Yeah, so within our HTTP platform, we have our autonomous REST connector. So that has the ability to consume REST endpoints that return JSON or XML and put that OData or SQL front end to those. So whether you have a business application that might not give you direct access to the database, we can still connect to quite a few of those.
Okay, excellent. Matt, this one looks like it's going to be for you, as they're talking about your implementation. Have any of your customers had any security concerns, when you announce, or if you ever did announce that you're going to be embedding the software, or, once they learned that this was an OEM environment? Just, there's a lot of details they're asking here. But yeah, just security concerns around customers. Have there been any? And how did you mitigate those concerns?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, sometimes, again, because of the nature of legal data, right? I think that question and that concern is pretty much always there. And like I mentioned earlier, I think that the different options that you have through DataDirect and through HTTP are great in terms of mitigating those concerns. So like, just the multi-tenancy framework, right? The MFA, SSO. There's a lot that we can do to sort of allay concerns around security. But it's a good question, and it does come up. It does come up quite often.
There's
Okay.
on the server side, we also do quite a bit in terms of everything that's in motion can be AES 256 or SSL encrypted, and then anything at rest is AES 256 encrypted and that we store. So really taking, being concerned to make sure that everything is protected that is in the database. And then the other thing that we everything is in motion, so we're not really storing any of your data in the hybrid data pipeline. Everything is a single source of truth from your original source of data.
Excellent. I know both of you had talked about this one, but a person online has a question a little about the support experience. What was the support experience? How has the support experience been with Progress, namely for this implementation?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic so far. I mean, Aaron's been a great partner and a great asset for us. We also, we use the support portal through Progress, and it's, folks are very responsive and understand the technical challenges. And so that helps a lot because our clients are demanding and they want answers pretty quickly. So I would say it's been a great experience working with Progress, yeah, I'd say the support so far has been great.
Yeah, we like Aaron too, so appreciate that. Appreciate that comment. It looks like we have one more question. How long did your implementation take on? I know this is one that you had touched as well, but it looks like we still have a participant wants a little bit more on that and see how they could potentially match what they want to do.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick implementation. I can't recall all the specifics, but probably less than a couple weeks to get it stood up. It wasn't a very time intensive implementation like you think with a normal software vendor, right? Like at Onit, our implementation cycles can take months, and so this was nice because it was a lot faster than that, a lot more agility with this.
Excellent.
Yeah, normally we'll see most people, you can stand up a POC of this in a matter of hours, and to get to like a fully highly available like cluster deployment, once you have all the infrastructure, you're installing it in less than a day. So I mean, yeah, getting everything up and running in a week or a couple weeks is no problem.
Okay. Well, guys, I lied a little bit. We have one more question that just popped in. Is the product hosted?
So it is hosted by the customer. It's not a SaaS solution, so we don't host it on behalf of the customer. So it can run on-prem and Linux VMs. It can run in Kubernetes using Helm charts, using Docker. So you have really a lot of flexibility. I'm not sure, Matt, are you in the public cloud with it?
That's a good question.
I'm not sure. I don't recall it was a little while back. I don't recall, but I mean, I know we have customers that deploy it in Azure and AWS. We also have people that are deploying it on Linux VMs and like VMware. So it's very, very flexible as to where you want to deploy it and how you want to manage the HP cluster. In terms of like the backend configuration database, that can be Postgres database, which I think you guys are using. It could be a SQL Server or an Oracle database, just to hold the configuration data, and that can be, again, a direct install of those databases or something like RDS up in AWS. And then on the front end for load balancing, we really support a wide range there. We've had people use HA Proxy, Nginx, the application load balancer, ALB in AWS, or even the application gateway in Azure. So really flexible in terms of how you can stand it up.
Great. Well, guys, it looks like that's the end of the questions. Matt or Aaron, I'll throw it at you for one final thing. Any final thoughts you want to mention? Anything to leave our audience with before this webinar wraps up?
Yeah.
Progress in general, DataDirect in general?
So, I mean, for those who don't know, Progress is over 40 years old. DataDirect is 25 years in the area. That's our expertise here is in data connectivity. And this product's really easy to stand up as a proof of concept. So if anyone on the webinar is interested, definitely reach out. We have a free trial, so it's easy to get it up and running, and we're here to help you give it a go.
Yep, as always. Well, Matt, we really appreciate you taking the time and talking with us here at Progress. I know these webinars can be challenging, but they're always fun. And Aaron, of course, thank you as well. I've worked with you many times, and it's always a pleasure doing these webinars with you. And to our audience, of course, we definitely thank you for tuning in today. As we talked a little bit during about the middle part of this webinar, this is recorded and we edit it. So we'll have everything smooth and ready for everyone to watch. And if there's any further questions that you may have, we're always available here at Progress to answer those questions, either through our Contact Us form or contacting us directly another way. But that's it. Appreciate everyone's time, and this concludes the webinar. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.